7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, it's cold again. Winter is back. Winter is back. Hi, everybody. Fun episode. Kind of, if you're into Q&As, talkbacks, little insights into training. Dr. Bob is back. Dr. Bob is a sports psychologist. He used to be the head of sports psychology at UCLA, and he is my uncle. So it's super fun for me to get to utilize him and ask him all sorts of questions about training and the mental mind game that is trying to qualify for the Boston Marathon. In this talk, because everything has gone so differently this time around than it has the first two, we talked a lot more about maintaining this and what I need to be doing and can continue to do, what is working for me, what isn't working for me, and then most importantly, this is the one thing I took from this is something about running effortlessly. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But let me know in the comments below what sort of questions you want me to ask Dr. Bob as we continue forward. He's such a great resource. He's a leader in his field. He's so smart. He's so loving and caring, and he just gets it. He gets, athletes on a really, really elite scale, and then he gets people like me and people like you, people who are really just everyday people trying to do what I call superhero stuff. So let me know in the comments below. Enjoy our talk.
I do feel, now that we're 3 weeks in, this is a very different experience. I feel calm, cool, collected, excited, happy. Things are going well. It hasn't been easy, but that's okay. It's totally different. And that excitement's gone, which is kind of a bummer. That anxiety that would come every time, which was kind of fun. But at the same time, I would take this over that any day.
Right.
But yeah, it's very different. So I'm going to let you call the shots.
So even though you've done it before, it's still the first time this time. This way, right?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. So I know we've talked about this in the past, but let's talk about it again, because I think it's always good to remind ourselves kind of the model that I work from. And that's the whole idea that there's only really three things that human beings do. We think, we have feelings, and we perform. We do things. And you're usually doing all three things at the same time. Like right now, you're thinking about where's he going with this? Yeah. Fun. This is exciting. This is new. And then you're looking at me. You're breathing. You're talking into your microphone. You're doing something all the time.
Yeah.
The way those three are connected is that what we think is kind of what we say to ourselves. We talk to ourselves all the time, and a lot of times we don't even know what we're saying because it's just an automatic thought. If your phone rings now and Sam's on the other line, on the other end, you're gonna go, oh, I wonder where she is, what she's doing. You'll have a reaction that you won't even think about.
Yeah.
If Becca was a little kid, I'd come home and I'd go, hey, Becca. And she'd run out, hey, Daddy, how are you? And she'd be all happy. But if I walked in the room and I said, hey, Rebecca, she'd come out of her room and she'd go, Dad, it wasn't me. It was my brother. It was me. And I'm like, what did you think you did? And she goes, I don't know, but your tone of voice told me that I did something wrong. So, it's an automatic thought so many times. And I'll come back to why that's important. So we think, we talk to ourselves, and then what we say to ourselves affects how we feel about ourselves. Mm-hmm. So you said, this is all new, and it feels so much better. Everything's been going great. So that means you probably feel really good, and you're probably running pretty well right now, I would guess.
I would say half of it, I had a really good first 2 weeks that surprised me, but that it has been hard. It has been a conscious decision to say exactly what we learned, 2 times ago. I don't know if I can do it, but let's just try. And let's figure out how to have fun doing this because I want to do this. So I have also really been working on being excited about the pain. I think I finally actually kind of sort of understand what that means and choosing it. And I've been working a lot on being purposeful where I run and visualizing it, and then knowing this is a place of hard work. This isn't fun run. This is work. And it's not work in a sense of I have to go to work. It's yes, today's a tempo day. Let's see what's going on. Let's go.
So just as an FYI, you're beginning to sound like a real athlete now.
Woo!
Yeah, I mean, along Kaya. All right,
Oh,
Kaya, get out of the
Kaya.
way. Yeah, the puppy wants to be a part of the action, and she's going to knock the power over. And just stay there, okay, pups? So just continuing on that thought. So when you feel when you have that doubt, or not doubt, but when you have that, oh, this is going to be hard. Now I think you take that as a challenge, right? I mean, that's like, bring it on. Let's see what I can do. And so that feeling translates into, okay, we'll see what I can do. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to, if I don't finish it, so what? I mean, I've just done the best I can, and that's so that thought leads to that feeling, leads to that behavior.
Yeah.
And a lot of times the problem is that we are Kaya. Sorry.
She is a welcome guest star. Who doesn't
sure.
love a beautiful puppy?
So so going back to the thoughts and how they affect the feelings. Our thoughts are either positive or negative in my world. So we talk about self-talk and negative self-talk, and most people talk about it from a perspective of, positive is cheerful and and all that. Well, I don't buy that. I think positive to me means when you say something that's accurate.
Yeah.
If you and negative is when you say something that's inaccurate. So the minute that you, for instance, try and predict the future, like I'm going to have a bad run today, that's inaccurate because you don't know that. You can't possibly know that. And so likewise, if you say I'm going to have a great run today, well, you can't really know that. But what you can say is, I'm warmed up well. I ate, I had a good breakfast. I'm hydrated. I've stretched out nicely. I think let's go see what's going to happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah. The one thing that I've been struggling with the most is when I hit that limit of like, I'm just getting started and I am probably pushing myself a little too hard, but like excited that things are happening. But then, towards the end of a harder workout, and then, or on a week where I just have a lot of miles on my like legs, and then like my legs are really fatigued. And I know I can push through it and do what I need to do and want to do, but like I get frustrated, and like it's just not that experience that I know is also possible, where it's springy and I feel just really heavy, and then my whole experience, I can just feel it like a toilet bowl, just like fighting to go down it and being like, no, just hold on to it, get through it, we could do it, we could do it, we could do it, and then it just frustrates me.
So what's frustrating about that is that it's not going the way you had intended it to go, right? I mean, you had a plan for it.
I just don't want to feel shitty.
Okay. And so
I think that might be it.
Most of us feel that way too. But so here's the thing about this whole think, feel, behave thing, is that if you accurately assess yourself, hey, my legs are dead, it's been a long week, I'm tired, and that makes you feel, it's not a good feeling. You can't fix that. I mean, that's just the reality of being an athlete. There are going to be days when it's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard. And rather than trying to fight it, I think you have to accept it. This is going to be a hard day. And it's why I run, because I want to get through these hard days. And it's these hard days that actually make me better, because that's when I've broken down my muscles the most. But it's also telling me I need a recovery day. I'm going to have to do some recovery there in order to get all that hard work to pay off. So you have to just sort of accept. I think you have to accept that if what I say is accurate, then whatever feeling comes up from that, I have to deal with that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But that's not going to make it easy. It's just the reality that if I'm accurate, I can't. Then it takes me to the right place. The question is, am I being entirely accurate? So most people would say, when my legs feel like that, I can't go fast today.
Yeah.
And my argument would be, how do you know that?
Yeah.
You don't until you go out and try. Now, if you say my legs are tired, so therefore I can't run fast, I feel shitty about that, and that's where you stop. If that's where you end, you're right. You're not going to run fast today. But I think if you say to yourself, wait a minute, how do I know that I can't run fast when my legs are tired? I've done that before. I at mile 26 of the Chicago Marathon, I looked up, or mile 25, I saw my Uncle Bob there, and I ran like hell for the next 7 minutes.
Yeah.
You told me before that I was going to be able to do that. I said, no way.
Yeah.
So I proved to myself I can do it. Now I just got to go out and try.
Yeah, it's that choice in the moment where, it just, I feel like lead. And it's
Right.
saying, that click that happens when you're like, no, we're doing it. Instead of just being like, I'm going to do exactly what I need to do, not I'm going to see what I can do. It's
Right.
that I've been struggling with, like I don't want to say I'm giving myself an excuse not to do it, because I'm still doing, like, I'm probably still like overshooting what I should be doing, just because it's the beginning and I'm in a pretty good place starting.
Right.
But it's also frustrating knowing, like, I want to see what we can do, and I am choosing this, but at the same time, like, it's just not firing.
So we'll jump ahead here a little bit. When you're running at your best right now, not last time or the time before, but right now, what word would you use to describe yourself? I mean, what's that
You're
feeling?
you're gonna be angry. The word that immediately popped into my head was circumstantial.
Circumstantial?
Yeah.
That's a long word too. What do you mean by circumstantial?
I think there are days where I take off and everything it feels effortless, and I'm
Okay.
banging out paces that, like, I shouldn't be, probably based on like what's on my training plans and stuff. And then there are other days where I take off and I feel great and I'm excited to be there, but like, it just doesn't feel like the day, but like, and I
Oh,
still do the
yeah.
work. It just feels like extra work. And
Right.
that's annoying. It's not like frustrating. It's just kind of like, what the hell? Like, why is it that some days, like, you just feel like you can not only go forever and and I've had more of those than the other. So I think that just caught up with me really quickly, where I was like, oh shit, like, this is just, I'm going to get, like, and when it kept happening, like, into week 2, I was like, oh God, this is not the norm. This is,
So
uh,
it just circumstantial. It just feels kind of lucky that it happens that way. You mean?
yeah, like, I would say like 4 out of, or probably 3 out of 5 runs were like that. And then now we're in the part where, like, that's not the case anymore. It is, we're working.
So when you're working now, does it feel good or does it feel really bad?
I'll have good moments, but for the most part, it just feels like work. It doesn't feel bad. It just feels a lot
Like,
more labored.
right.
And
So
then
in
I'm
those good,
comparing it to those, like, haha, like Forrest Gump type runs where I'm like, God damn
right.
it. Those couldn't have come at week 5.
So even take that statement, the Forrest Gump statement. You know what would a Forrest Gump feeling look like to you? What would you say? What word would you still use? Circumstantial,
No,
or
like,
would you use?
I feel like that's almost effortless. Like, you are just like, you feel like you can run forever. It's
Okay,
that weightless, everything's cooking and grooving, and it's just
right.
those perfect days. And maybe they're
So
not perfect, but
effortless is a great word. I love that
yeah.
word. And here's where I'm going with that is I want you to think about a place on your body, like on your shoe, on your hand, where you can write down the word effortless.
Okay.
The next time you get into that place, that funk of, I don't know if I can do this today, I want you to look at that word, effortless, and have it cue in to that feeling that you have when those few moments when it just feels effortless. In other words, I want you to, it's a visual cue to remind you of that feeling of effortlessness.
Okay.
Word. But you know what I mean? And it's like, my head is starting to spin. I'm starting to think, I'm spinning out of control. I'm starting to hate this. This feels like work. It feels worse than work, whatever. Okay. Effortless. Here we go. And now I'm off and running again, and I'm Forrest Gump. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Here's another question that I've been thinking a lot about. Like, on those runs, a lot of the time too, like, I feel like my brain can run wild kind of, and like, I can just play Imagine Land, and like, I'm blinking and miles are passing by.
Right.
It's that run where you blink and it's over. That type stuff. But sometimes, like, too, I stop focusing on what I'm doing, and I am clicked in, and things are like, even if I have to, like, a hard, pretty, like, complicated tempo run, I don't pay as much attention as I probably should, because I just don't need to. Like, it's just happening. Like, the watch beeps
Right.
and I do it. But I started thinking a lot about, like, one, I don't know if that's what I should be doing, because I started remembering back in, like, when I was in college and theater school, like, those days where you autopilot in the beginning, like, yeah, you're clicking in and like things are happening the way they should, but you're giving yourself like you're taking the easy road as opposed to like really staying in control. And I was like,
Right.
I don't know if I should be doing this. And like, is this a bad habit that I like don't
Right.
give myself a chance to stay present instead of like giving myself permission to play? You know, that's kind of what it feels like. So I'm like, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Right. No, I think there's a difference between training and competing. I think when you're training, it's probably more useful to be thoughtful about, am I doing the run the way I'm supposed to? How does that feel? Can I improve my technique at all? I think that's as much as you can. You want to stay in that moment.
Yeah.
And then when you race, I think it's just time to go out and race. And it's probably not the time to be thinking, is my stride right now? I mean, that's why you do all the work in practice. So I think, there are times in practice when it's just about getting the miles in, and then if you can get the miles in better by being la la land someplace, great. But when you're on the track or when you're doing a tempo run, when you're doing something that's structured and focused and intentional, I think you need to be there.
Okay.
But here's the thing: if you drift away, which you will, because everybody does, and you come back to it without judging yourself. In other words, don't go, where were you dummy? You just missed a mile of this run, and what a waste that was. Don't do that. I mean, that's judging yourself for drifting, and we just drift naturally.
Yeah. I realized I should probably be concentrating in those moments, and I was like, but at the same time, like this puts me in a great like mood, and this is like what I love to do. And then I was like, but you're also like working, and you chose to do this.
Okay, but I think if you can hold on to that effortless feeling and still be thinking about, I ran that one a little bit slower than I should have, or I ran that a little faster than I was supposed to, and wow, that felt pretty good, but I'm trying to stay on a tempo here. I think that's all you need to be doing.
Yeah.
And if you out again, okay, hey, I'm back, and what was I doing? Oh yeah.
I keep waiting for that moment where I get ahead of myself and I start to panic, like be it in a run or beforehand. And I'm doing a lot better, like talking myself into it, but I know that it's going to get harder. Like, what can I and should I be doing? Or like, what would be like a useful tool to like preemptively prevent that?
Right. So again, it comes back to what am I saying to myself? And as soon as I start to predict the future, I need to check that. Okay.
Yeah.
It's back to, is that accurate? And the answer is I can't possibly know. I mean, if I start to run and I say, oh, this is going to be too hard for me, I'm not going to be able to do this, I'm going to say to you, how do you know that?
Yeah.
Tried yet? So part of it is just talking, is sort of challenging yourself with, is that really true? And a lot of times what we're saying, we don't know if it's true or not. We can make it true, but we don't know that for sure. So I think a part of that is like just cognitively having that discussion with ourselves. What's going on here? What are you saying to yourself that's making you feel this way? And remembering that a lot of times I won't know what it was because it's an automatic thought. It doesn't even register my consciousness.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Totally.
But then I think the other part of it is physiologically, your heart rate will start to go up, your breathing will get, and then that's the part you can have some control over. So, okay, I'm okay. That's just my irrational side coming back out again.
Yeah.
I remember, okay, I don't have to go down that road. That's my choice. It's
yeah,
like
I haven't had it yet, but like I have like gotten to that panic attack place in the middle of the run when I start to just like get to that threshold place. And I have no idea where it comes from because it could be like a pretty not intimidating run and all of a sudden like it's like Panicville.
Right. And so it comes from lots of different places. It can start with a physiological thing. Like all of a sudden you notice, hey, I'm breathing harder than I should be because this is a pretty easy run. What's going on here?
Yeah.
Or, it can also be some thought like, what the heck? I'm in mile 7 and what's going on here? I'm not feeling very good, or I'm feeling really better than I thought I should. And, I mean, all of a sudden we start making something up when there's really nothing there.
Yeah.
We're good at that.
I'm very good at that too. That's like my special skill.
No, I think we all do that in our own way, whatever it is. For me, I worry about my health, with pretty good reasons. But, I'm always checking. Now I'm always checking to see if my cognitive side is functioning right.
Yeah.
If I forget something, like, uh-oh, am I starting to lose my memory?
Yeah.
It's like, so with you, it's, is this not going as well as I think it's going to go and, it's supposed to go?
Yeah. It's that perfection thing. Even though, like, I think I'm so far past that, and it's not even perfection. It's just, not doing what I think I should be doing.
Right. And so who's the judge? Who's creating that judgment? Is that you, or is that your coach? Or
I think it's totally me.
Right. So recognizing that, being able to say, wait a minute, why am I judging myself so harshly?
Yeah.
Why am I judging myself at all? I mean, I'm out here doing something that 99% of the world wouldn't even try, and I'm doing it because I don't think I can do it, which is my whole motivation for doing things. Which, by the way, I thought, texted me and said that I can't do math. I'm thinking, oh, now she's going to be a math teacher, because she says she can do math.
No, I've always been bad at math ever since I let myself not work hard in 6th grade.
Right. But that would be your, I can see you going, okay, now I have to be good at math because I said I'm very good in it. Right.
Math brings me no joy. Running at least brings me joy every once in a while.
Right. And that's the reason you do it, is because, it is fun sometimes.
Yeah, it is.
And when it's not, sometimes it's just because it's not.
Yeah.
And because we make it not fun.
Yeah.
And those are the ones you can control. The ones when they're not fun because it's just really hard and it sucks today, you just have to get through those. There's no way around it.
That's what I've been trying to explain to a lot of people, because I think the second I said, like, you have to find the fun and stuff, everyone took it a little too far and was like, whoa, wait, I can't find the fun in this, and now I'm bad. And I'm like, no. Like, sometimes it is just hard.
Right. And when what you say to yourself is accurate and it takes you to a place of this is hard, you can't fix that. That's just real.
Yeah. Yeah. I have my first like half marathon checkup quiz, whatever you want to call it, in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And a part of me is excited because like it's too early in training to really have like a good sense of what's going to happen on race day because we're too far out. But then another part of me is also like, but I really do want to take this, like a race and just see where I am at. So it's almost like, one, I am afraid that I am going to hold a little bit back so that I can be like, yeah, but I knew I held back,
Right.
And then another part of me is, excited to go for it. I'm in that weird, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I haven't really raced in a very long time.
And so that's all true. So that's very accurate.
Yeah.
And so the question is, what feeling comes from that? Is it, and you have two choices, right? That's the feeling of fear, like, oh shit, am I going to embarrass myself? Am I going to have a horrible time? And the other part is, I got nothing to lose in this one.
Yeah.
Because if I don't run well, it's early in my training. What can I expect? If I do run well, wow, I'm ahead of my pace, where I expected to be at this point. To me, these are the early ones are the fun ones. It's when you get closer to the, the actual BQ thing, whatever race that's going to be, that then you don't want to have a bad race. You really want to make sure everything's clicking.
Yeah.
Right? No matter what happens, you win, because
that's true.
It either shows how far you got to go, or it shows you how far you come.
Yeah, it's a chicken or the egg. What are like some race day, like using these next 2 Saturdays as for like my long run, like practices, rehearsals for it?
Right.
What can I do to?
Do you know the course you're going to run?
Yeah, I've never seen it, or I'm not familiar with it at all.
Okay. So do they have it out on? Can you recreate it in your head? Can you?
Yeah.
Can you,
I'm sure I can find video of it and pictures and stuff.
That's what I'm thinking. Like even Google could just take you can do a satellite view of it and get a really good sense of what it's going to be like. Because I would start visualizing it, as soon as you can.
Okay.
And I'd actually, there's a nose.
This is Kaya.
Hey, Kaya, go around. Go around here. No, go that way. Go around, please. Yeah, I'm trying to get her to go around. Wrong way.
She's like,
wrong
I'll
way.
come here.
No, here she comes.
Oh.
She's if I say wrong way, she knows that she's supposed to go the other way. So
she's so smart, so pretty.
But yeah, I mean, and even if you're doing like a 12 or 13 mile run, visualize that you're on the course.
Yeah.
It'll be totally different, but just okay. So here I am coming up on mile 6, and this is how I want to be feeling. Just kind of put yourself into it as much as you can on the 2 Saturday runs. But before you go to bed on Friday night, just have that map in your head and just kind of take yourself through it. And you can even start with, your warm up and, all the stuff that you do to get ready to race. I would do everything the same way you will on race day for the next 2 Saturdays. Get up at the time that you would, eat what you would normally do on race day, get there and do your stretches the way you would on race day. So by the time you get to race day, you feel like, okay, my body knows that it's time to start running.
I think I'm also just a teeny bit afraid because I haven't even hit that distance yet. I don't know why I'm so nervous about running a marathon.
Well, but that's okay. So I think that a certain amount of nervous is normal.
Yeah.
I mean, if you weren't at least a little bit nervous, I'd be like, what's wrong with you? It's, you're not taking this seriously, whatever. I mean, to me, that's normal. Now, if you can't sleep because you're so nervous about it, or if you can't, if you're thrown up in the bathroom because you're so nervous about it, that's too much. But I think a certain amount of nervous is normal, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is that it's all about how you label it. If you say to yourself, "Wow, I've got butterflies, and that's scary, and I'm probably in trouble now," that's the way it'll go. But if you say, "Wow, I've got those nerves that I always have right before I race, and that means I'm probably going to run okay because I'm feeling it," that's the way you'll run.
Yeah, that makes sense. The one last thing that I wanted to ask you is, I run a lot stronger when I'm with people,
right?
Being pushed with people and having that pace. People are there to be with me. And I've been trying to find a good balance between having those people to not hold me accountable, but to really push me. But then also making myself run alone sometimes on harder days to force myself to do the work alone. Right. What is that balance like? Because there is a night and day difference between when I run harder stuff solo versus when I do it with people.
And it's better when you run with people?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know that there needs to be a balance. I mean, I think as long as you can find training partners that can push you like that, then I think there's nothing wrong with that. Because certainly in any race that you're going to race, there are going to be people that are out there faster than you, and you're going to, you can pick your group and jump from group to group. If you find out that they're slower than you are, you go to the next group and you try and race with them.
I guess I've never really raced with people I don't know. I've never really paid attention, which I should, and I've known that's a thing forever.
Yeah, no, the funny thing is it'll be going back to being your old run selfie repeat thing, Yeah. Oh, I'm going to catch you guy and take a picture of them. Only now I'm going to catch up with that group and try and tail with them for a while. And I think if you want to run by yourself, just agree that you're going to take the lead for a while.
Yeah.
You're going to be the lead person, and they're going to follow you. All the great runners that I've ever worked with, when they get to race day, they're doing their pace for the first 12 miles of a half marathon, and in that last mile, they're trying to see how many people they can pick off. I'm going to get that next one. I'm going to get that next one. That next one. But I don't see any reason why you wouldn't be able to do that for an entire race. Okay, I'm tired of this group. I can run faster than they can, or they drop me, and I got to find another group behind me. But there's that phenomena of running faster in a group is definitely real. That was actually the very first sports psychology study that was ever done was on cyclists, and the fact that cyclists working in a peloton ride much faster than individual riders. So it's the same thing with running.
That's good. That makes me feel good about, not feeling pressure to feel like I need to be able to replicate that solo.
No, I mean, you won't be able to, because I mean, there's the physical part of, the wind and the, being able to run behind somebody, tuck in behind somebody is very real. But you watch it in the Olympics and ice skating, and they all draft off of each other.
That's helpful.
If you, I mean, it would be ideal if you could find somebody who can run the pace that you want to run for the half marathon, and would pace you the whole way. I mean, that would be awesome. But
I think, well, hopefully we'll have friends we have the same goals, but we'll see what happens. Anyone can drop, or, things happen.
But I mean, if you found somebody who was, 5 minutes faster than you, or 10 minutes faster than you, and said, I'm going to run with you the whole way, that'd be awesome. But in the absence of that, I think you can just find people that are running a little bit faster than you and just say, I'm going to keep up with them.
Oh, so scary.
Well, it's the race within the race, right? But you won't be scared, because, it'll be effortless.
That's true.
You'll be looking down and going, it's effortless, and the next thing you know, you'll be crossing the finish line and go, wow, I thought we just started a second ago.
Oh, it will happen.
Yeah, it will. I mean, and no matter what happens this time, you'll learn something from it. You'll move on.
Yeah.
You can't lose. I mean, it's this is one of those races where it's a checkpoint.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter.
Will that fear of running fast ever go away?
The fear of running fast, the fear of not running fast.
The fear of running fast.
I don't know that ever goes away. I think that no, I think most runners probably have. They won't admit it, but that there is that thing of, if I put everything I have into it and I run really fast, what have I done to myself? I've set the bar even higher. I mean, it's so. I think we all do that. I mean, that's the perfectionist in us, the competitor in us, is that we want to, this is good, but I want to be gooder.
If only we could be just good enough.
Well, I mean, it's interesting, because that's exactly what the elite athlete will say to you. I know I'm good, but am I good enough? And that's why you go to the line and you take off and you run. You want to find if you're good enough.
It's so funny.
And you have what good enough is going to look like. If I qualify for Boston, that's good enough.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, as soon as you qualify for Boston, it won't be good enough anymore.
I don't know about that.
Well, yeah, you'll find the next good enough.
A math teacher.
Now are in Boston, and then it'll be, welcome to being an athlete.
No, they may go to triathlons.
There you go. Yeah, we all know how well you surf. That'll be perfect.
Hey, brutal.
You out there and try. You tried. That's all I care about.
Brutal. The whole time I just kept thinking about hurting myself, like before I even got started with BQ. Funny. That's the only thing that was going through my mind, is like, you're going to step on a stingray. You are going to break your ankle.
Right.
You just spent 6 months getting better, and now you're about to hurt yourself.
Right.
And I was like, no one's forcing me to be out here, and I'm having a great time. Just don't even try.
Exactly. Just
be safe.
Make it effortless.
Be safe.
Be safe. Where's the shark fin? I'm where's that?
I was like, don't even put your feet in the water. Just stay on your board. All right. This is helpful. Anything that comes to mind that would help the next 3 weeks?
Well, I think you're doing all the right things. Stay in the moment as much as you can.
Yeah.
When you leave the moment, come back to it without judging yourself on it. Be aware of what you're saying to yourself. If you wanted to keep a journal, I can send you some ideas of how to keep a journal on what am I saying to myself, how am I feeling, and how do I perform, to start to see if you can figure out what the pattern is when it goes bad. Like, all it is writing down once a day, sitting down and thinking about what was a good moment today, and What was I thinking? How did I feel? How did I perform? What was a bad moment today? What was I thinking? How did I feel? How did I perform? And then start trying to figure out what's the difference there. And I'll give you an example. A lot of people will say, when I'm feeling good, I feel like I'm in control. And when I feel bad, I feel like I'm out of control. And so control is a big issue for me. And so I want to develop the illusion of control when I run so that I will run well. Does that make sense?
It pretty much nails it right on the head.
Yeah, no, I mean that's probably number one thing that I hear from people. It's the theme that comes out. But for other people, it could be something totally different. But trying to figure out exactly what that looks like, and then knowing how to combat that when it's not the way you want it to be. You're a photobomb.
I like it.
Yeah, you want to see? Kind of look.
She's so
Look
cute.
right there.
She's the
There you
cutest puppy in the world. No, what's interesting is like I don't think control would have been what was probably like at the root of most of my like anxiety about what I'm doing the first or second try, but I think this time it is control. Mostly because I know what to expect, I think, and I know what I can do and
Right.
what I not should do, but can do, and I just give myself permission to like succeed and get out of my own freaking way. And now it's control. It's that, like when I don't feel like I did what I should have done in the morning, or I didn't like take X, Y, and Z, and now I'm becoming a crazy like do everything the same, take 4 hours.
You're a athlete is what you are.
Oh, they're crazy. I want to go back. I want to go back to that blissful ignorance.
Yeah, no, you don't.
I don't know. This control part is like, I mean, that was a decade of therapy that just got undone.
Well, but you at least, I think, recognize it's the illusion of control.
Yeah, no, totally.
Right. I mean, there's that old story about how do you make God smile? You tell him your plan. I mean, it's there's an illusion, but it's a healthy one. I mean,
Yeah.
as long as you know, okay, I want to feel like I'm in control, and there are certain things I can control. There are certain things I wish I could control, but and it's the things I wish I could control that could get in my way. Like, am I going to get sick? This flu's going around. I can't afford to get sick. I can't lose any training time right now. But I can't control what germs go into my body. I mean, I can do as much preventative stuff as I can, but at the end of the day, some things are out of my control.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is when like we've been telling people to goal race, which we haven't announced it just yet, but we've been like obviously telling friends and stuff. Everyone does the same thing. Like, what about the weather? Last year it was like really, really hot and unseasonably hot. And I'm like, literally can't control it. The goal is to do the training and to really see what happens when I give 100%.
It's funny because I work with swimmers, and I say to them, how many of you go down and touch the water with your toe before you get in? And they'll raise their hand. I'm like, why? It's not going to change the temperature. I mean, there's nothing. It's going to be colder. It's going to be hot. It's going to be whatever it's going to be. Like the weather. It's going to be what it's going to be. But it's the illusion of control.
I'm going to do a bunch of voodoo, though. I mean, that's not going to stop me.
No, and it shouldn't.
I'm shaking some chicken heads.
Comfort, to have those little rituals. That's those all make you feel like you're in control. And I'm going to have a good day today because of my hair. I'm having a good hair day, and because I talked to a track athlete once who told me that if she didn't braid her hair the night before a race, she couldn't run well. Like, okay, you believe that? And she goes, yeah. I honestly, every time I haven't braided my hair, I've run poorly. Okay, braid your hair. You have control over that.
Shave it.
But if she had told me that I have to hit 3 green lights in a row on the way to my race.
Oh no.
I'd be like, wait a minute, you can't control that. Make sense?
Totally. Oh, that's
We all
crazy.
do it. We all do it.
I know, we all do crazy things.
Yep.
Whenever I catch myself starting to like do a crazy thing 3 days in a row, and I'm like, oh, knock it off, do something else.
Yeah, if it's a crazy thing you can control, I don't have a problem with it. I got to have a bagel on my way to my race. Okay, have a bagel on your way to your race. I mean that's okay.
Yeah.
But the train has to come within 30 seconds of the time I hit the station. okay, I don't think you can control that,
Yeah.
Why give that up to somebody else?
Okay. This is good stuff to work on. Very helpful. I'm excited
Okay.
this time. That's good.
No, I think it is. And, just keep remembering that I just want it to be effortless. At its best, it's effortless. And it won't always be effortless, but the more times that I can make it feel that way,
Yeah.
the better I'm going to run.
I'm excited to try that. I'm going to write it on my shoe.
Yeah, no, I think that if you can practice it and it works in practice, it'll work in the race too.
And I think that's like the entire reason that I loved running too in the first place, like those moments.
Mm-hmm.
It was like chasing that feeling.
And it's funny because the harder you try and get it, the less likely you are, right? I mean, it's because to get effortlessness, it has to be effortless.
Yeah.
It's effortless. So, it's the ultimate paradox. The harder I try to get the outcome, the less likely I am to get it. The more I
It's a
focus
great
on the
name for a book. Chasing Effortless. I bet it's taken. Let's
Yeah.
find out.
Chasing effortlessness.
Doesn't it sound like a surfing movie?
It does, or a philosophical book. I'm reading another book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Oh, I've seen that.
No, and it's pretty. The guy writes 100 pages to say 3 sentences, but it's pretty. It's pretty interesting. I've got a new way of describing it. It used to say, if God deals you lemons, make lemonade. And now I'm saying, if God deals you lemons, learn to live with lemons.
That's good. I mean, I think that sometimes that is so much more realistic.
Right?
There's so much less pressure to try to take the world's shittiest situation and be like, how can we find the positive?
Right. No, I mean, sometimes you just have to live with the fact that it sucks.
Yeah.
Excuse my language, but it just does sometimes.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I think that makes a lot more sense.
But it took him 190 pages to say that. So. But he's making 20.
Let's
20
write a
bucks.
5-page book.
Right, exactly. Word better.
Always.
My favorite word, parsimonious.
What's that? Parsimonious?
It means the simplest and most basic answer.
Oh, I'm into that.
So, why does my head hurt? Well, because I have brain cancer. No, it's because you banged your head on the wall against the wall, you dummy. I mean, the simple answer is better,
Yeah. I'm into it. All right. This was very helpful.
Let's talk again either right before or right after your first checkpoint there.
I'd love to talk to you right before it.
Okay. We can do that. So that's 2 weeks. What day is your race?
Thanksgiving.
11th May.
St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, it is? It's
Yeah.
17th?
It's no, Sunday. So it's the 16th, 18th.
Yep, we'll figure it out.
Exciting times.
Yep. It is.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
See you later.